Japan is an island country in East Asia and therefore has no direct neighbors. But Russia, South and North Korea, China and Taiwan are in close proximity. The Japanese archipelago consists of 6,852 islands, covering a total of almost 378,000 square kilometers. This makes Japan a bit larger than Germany and a bit smaller than Norway. The only official language in Japan is Japanese. Shinto and Buddhism are the two strongest religions in Japan. Shinto is practically as old as Japanese culture itself, while Buddhism was imported from the Asian mainland. These two religions coexist in the country and fortunately in a mostly peaceful manner. Most Japanese identify as either Buddhist, Shintoist or both. But although these two religions are very common in Japan, they do not play a significant role in the everyday life of most Japanese. According to statistics from 2018, 97.8% of the Japanese population are ethnic Japanese, making Japan one of the most homogeneous populations. However, the number of foreign residents in Japan has increased dramatically in recent years due to the aging population and shortage of workers in some areas. The largest city not only in the country but in the whole world is Tokyo, since the metropolitan region of Tokyo is home to more than 37 million people. Other large cities are Yokohama, which is located close to Tokyo, with 3.7 million, and Osaka with 2.6 million inhabitants and about 20 million inhabitants in its outskirts. In total, Japan is home to 125 million people, which makes Japan rank 11th worldwide by population. However, the population is shrinking and aging rapidly. What I didn't know is that Japan even controls islands that are only about 100 kilometers away from Taiwan. So the territory of Japan is really not to be underestimated. But we will take a closer look at this later. Japan is famous for many things. Let's begin with its clean neighborhoods, its great infrastructure, its Shinkansen trains, for being one of the most developed countries worldwide, for its nature, the Mount Fuji, for its earthquakes, the Shiba dogs, the koi fish, for the cherry blossoms in spring, its strong economy, for being the only state worldwide that still has an emperor, for the sumo wrestlers, but also for the cuisine, namely sushi and ramen, and the Japanese culture in general. But as we will find out soon, Japan has much more than that to offer. The Japanese flag shows a large red circle on a white background. But this is not just any red color, but this specific red color is named vermilion. The circle symbolizes the rising sun. Because seen from the Asian mainland, the sun rises over Japan, so Japan is the land of the rising sun. The white color stands for honesty and integrity. There is also a version with 16 red rays, and it was used by the Japanese armed forces until the end of the Second World War. It has been reused for the Japanese Navy since 1954. In the surrounding Asian countries that were occupied by Japan, this flag still evokes negative associations. Japan has many national symbols, including the blossom cherry as the national tree, the cherry blossom as the national flower, the pheasant as the national bird, the koi as the national fish, sumo as the national sport, and Japan even has a national stone which is called jade. Just like Switzerland, Japan also has a national instrument which is called the koto. Let's quickly take a look at the Japanese economy. In Japan, people pay with the Japanese yen. Its economy is the world's third largest by nominal GDP, only topped by China and the USA. For a long time, it was considered the world's second strongest economy before it was overtaken by China. In the Economic Competitiveness Report, Japan ranks 5th worldwide, and in the Index of Economic Complexity, it ranks 1st worldwide. Moreover, it is the world's third largest consumer market. Japan's largest industries are the production of all kinds of vehicles, economic equipment, machine tools, as well as chemicals and processed foods. As usual for highly developed market economies, Japan's services industry contributes 72% to the overall GDP. The Japanese tourism industry is quite interesting as well. Even though Japan is not very dependent on tourism compared to most other countries, around 31 million people visited this country in 2018. In recent years, the tourism industry has grown massively, as in 2011 only 6.2 million people visited Japan, while this number has quintupled in just 5 years. Most of the tourists come from China, followed by South Korea, Taiwan and Hong Kong. Japan is also the world's third largest automobile manufacturer, far behind China and the US. 8 million vehicles are produced in Japan every year, more than twice as many as in Germany. But still, Japan's national debt accounts for 237% of its total economic output, making it one of the most indebted countries in the world. Another fact worth knowing is that only 12% of the land area of Japan is suitable for agriculture. That is why Japan is the world's second largest importer of food. But not of rice, since Japan is self-sufficient here. Its main export partners are the USA, China and the European Union, and its main import partners are China, the USA and the European Union. Later in this video there will be an interview with Brandon, who runs a YouTube channel called Nikkei Kanadajin. He moved from Canada to Japan, will talk about his journey and will provide useful information to everyone who is interested in moving to Japan. If you have an idea which country I should cover next, please let me know down in the comments. This video is part of a video series that covers informative facts and the migration procedure of many countries around the globe. I've created a dedicated video for many countries worldwide. You can find the playlist linked in the video description below. But let's return to Japan. What are the main upsides of moving to Japan and what needs to be considered? As of the 2019 UN report, Japan ranks 26th among the countries with the largest foreign-born population. About 2.5 million people living in Japan were not born there, but moved to this country during their lifetime. The largest foreign-born populations are the Chinese, followed by the Filipinos, Koreans, Thai and Vietnamese. But what are the main upsides of moving to Japan? As mentioned before, a great upside of moving to Japan is its economy. Thanks to the fact that Japan is the world's third largest economy, you will for sure be able to boost your career at one of many international companies headquartered in Japan. We will soon talk about the average wages and the cost of living in Japan. The nature of Japan is another big upside. With 4 tectonic plates colliding in Japan, it is not surprising that Japan is home to around 240 volcanoes. About 2/3 of the country is mountainous, and the highest point in the country is Mount Fuji, or Fujisan, at 3,776 meters above sea level. Around 75% of Japan is covered by inaccessible mountain forests. A fact that is often forgotten when looking at some stock footage of Tokyo's concrete jungles. Japan's 33,500 kilometers of coastline open all doors to activities that are related to the sea, and making Japan one of the countries with the longest coastline. Due to the enormous north to south expansion of the country, the climate of Japan is very diverse. From a polar, snowy climate in the north of the country to a subtropical climate in the very south in Okinawa. Japan is also home to a diverse wildlife. From brown bears on the northern island of Hokkaido to the Asiatic black bear, sika deers and the Japanese sero, which is a goat antelope. In Tokyo, summers are warm and humid with around 30 degrees during the day and 20 degrees at night. Winters, on the other hand, are dry and sunny at around 10 degrees during the day and around 0 degrees at night. Sometimes there is also snowfall in Tokyo. There is a rainy season with daily rain showers that last from late June to mid-July. That's why you have to expect over 100 rainy days per year in Tokyo, which corresponds to an average of almost 2 days a week. Another great advantage is the Japanese culture. In Japan, you can explore Japanese history from ancient temples up to its ultra-modern cities. Another part of culture is the cuisine. As you might know, rice plays an important role in Japanese cuisine, but also seafood, different kinds of soups and vegetables are common. Sushi, Japanese curry, ramen, tempura and wagashi are popular and common dishes. Safety is for sure another upside of this country. As of the Numbeo Safety Index, Japan ranks 5th worldwide. Only Qatar, Taiwan, the United Arab Emirates and Georgia rank better. Things just work reliably there. Take the public transport system as an example. 45 of the 51 busiest train stations in the world are located in Japan, and yet trains are almost never too late. If a Japanese train is 5 minutes late or more, its passengers are issued with a certificate that they can show to their boss or teacher as an excuse for being late. A Japanese railway company made headlines after it apologized for sending a train off 20 seconds early. The Japanese efficiency and punctuality is for sure one of the main reasons why Japan today is one of the world's most developed countries. Its infrastructure, not only the rail network, but also highways, airports, and shipping ports, are at the cutting edge. Yet another upside is the great education system. As of the international PISA competition, Japan ranks 3rd among 71 participating countries. Japan is only topped by Hong Kong and Singapore. So in case you plan to move to Japan with your family, you will not need to worry to send your kids to public school. All these upsides are key to the fact that Japan has one of the world's highest, if not even the world's highest life expectancy, numbering about 85 years. On average, the Japanese earn 37,300 euros or about 45,200 US dollars. What does it cost to live in Japan? If you live off 3,000 US dollars a month in Chicago, Illinois, you'll need about 2,910 US dollars for the same standard of living in Tokyo. So living in Tokyo is about 3% cheaper than living in Chicago. Living in Japan isn't cheap, which may be a downside of moving to Japan. But in spite of all these upsides, there are also a few drawbacks that you'll need to consider. As I already mentioned at the beginning of this video, Japan's population keeps getting older and shrinks. This is a risk to the Japanese economy and the well-being of the whole country. Additionally, people work extremely hard, and expats mention that there is almost no work-life balance. Moreover, the 1,500 earthquakes that occur annually are a drawback. In 1923, an earthquake with a magnitude of 7.9 hit Japan. It just lasted for about 4 to 10 minutes, but resulted in 140,000 people losing their lives. Japan is part of the Ring of Fire, which is why earthquakes and tsunami occur so frequently. Surprisingly, tsunami even is a Japanese word that stands for harbor wave. Another disadvantage is the high cost of living. An 8 square meter room that is not even situated in the center of Tokyo already costs more than 300 euros a month. The Japanese are not known for their openness, so socializing may not be that easy, at least in the beginning. But the Japanese attitude can of course also be interpreted as an upside. Let's continue with interviewing Brandon. When did you move to Japan and which city did you move to?
Hey, so I just want to say thank you so much for having me on for this interview. I really appreciate it. So my name is Brandon from the channel Nikkei Canada Gene. And thank you once again so much for having me on. I'm so happy to answer your questions. Alright, so I think the first question was, when did I first move to Japan and which city did I live in? Well, I first moved to Japan in 2016, and the first city I ever lived in Japan was Gotemba. It's like right beside Mount Fuji, and whenever you go outside, you can see Mount Fuji even on a cloudy day. And it's really beautiful, very scenic in Gotemba, and there are so many things to do there and so many places you can explore, and it just never gets boring.
Why did you choose Japan and not another country in East Asia?
Well, for myself, since I'm Japanese Canadian, I kind of wanted to explore my roots. And when I was a university student, I did a study abroad to Japan and experienced kind of what it was like as a student and that kind of student culture in Japan. So I wanted to come back and find out what the working culture was like and explore that side of Japanese culture as well.
What do you enjoy most about your life in Japan?
Well, there are so many things that I enjoy about my life in Japan that I'm so grateful for. But I think there are 3 main things that I really enjoy and really am fortunate to have. I think the first one is definitely safety, because whether it's 2 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock in the morning, I feel completely safe going out and just going for a walk at night. Whereas back in Canada, I might not necessarily feel as safe going out at that time. The second reason why I really enjoy my life in Japan is, of course, the people. Since Japanese culture places a lot of emphasis on harmony, having the same values, and keeping the peace, you don't normally see people escalating situations to the point of a physical altercation or fight. And for myself, since I'm just naturally not confrontational, I really do prefer this kind of communication style. And not only that, but the default position for when someone loses a wallet or a phone, for example, is to return it either to the owner directly or just turn it into the nearest police station. And I think this kind of goes back to having the same values, because I believe like in Japan I have like a 90% chance of getting my wallet back, but in Canada I might have like a 50% chance of getting it back. And again, I think this ties into the majority of the population having that same value system. And the third thing I enjoy about my life in Japan is that I definitely enjoy the food. For myself personally, my favorite Japanese food is takoyaki. But overall, I think Japanese food has a unique taste to it, and the fact that it has a smaller portion size, but it has a greater variety of dishes that you can enjoy during your mealtime. I think that's really nice to have. You can have like a little bit of everything, kind of like a sample platter, so it never gets boring.
What do you miss most about your life in Canada?
For sure, I miss my friends and family because, you know, it's really hard going to a different country and leaving behind all those relationships and connections that you have made throughout your entire life. Of course, you have sites like Skype, Facebook, where you can connect, but it's not exactly the same thing as being able to see someone in person.
What are the Japanese like?
Well, overall, Japanese people I find to be kind, caring, but a little bit more reserved. So it can take a little while for them to get to warm up to you, but I think it's important to remember that each person in Japan is an individual with their own hopes, their own dreams, and their own personality. So I think it would be a mistake to generalize and stereotype them as all having the same kind of attribute just because they're Japanese. Just treat them as individuals and don't expect them to act or behave a certain way just because of their nationality.
Was it hard for you to learn Japanese?
Answer just simply is yes. Because although I'm Japanese Canadian, my parents never taught me Japanese growing up, and so I had to learn by myself. And I'm still learning even to this day, which I think is one of the great things about learning a language. The journey never ends. You just move on to the next stage.
What advice would you give people who are interested in moving to Japan?
I would say if I could give one piece of advice, it's to have the ability and be able to adapt, because you are more likely coming from a completely different culture, a completely different country where things might be done differently. So instead of digging your heels in and saying this or that is the wrong way of doing things because in my country we do it this way, I think this is a path towards becoming really resentful and spiteful towards the country you're currently living in or currently are going to move to. And I've seen a fair number of people become resentful because they never learn to adapt. And you hear about all these jaded expats on forums like Reddit, for example, and it isn't a good thing. It doesn't help you and it doesn't help those around you if you have that kind of negative attitude. So instead, I would suggest just being open to new ideas, new experiences, and new ways of thinking. And I think something that will really help anyone who's going to move to Japan is to become a part of the community in some way or another, either by volunteering or joining some kind of club. Just by involving yourself more in the community and the culture, you can make new friends, build new connections and relationships, and overall, you'll have a better life in Japan. And again, thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate this opportunity. And yeah, Hope you have a great day.
Thank you, Brandon, for taking time to join this interview. Please make sure to check out his YouTube channel, linked in the video description down below, for more informative videos about moving to Japan. If you are interested in Japan, then you should definitely go check out his channel. But what needs to be done in order to move to Japan? Residents of Germany, Switzerland, Austria, the UK and Mexico may travel to Japan visa-free for a total of 6 months. Residents of most other European countries, Australia, North America, Argentina, Chile and Uruguay, are allowed to enter Japan for up to 90 days visa-free. But this is just for tourism. There is a so-called specialized skills visa that allows for work in one of over a dozen professional fields, including construction, hospitality, nursing and manufacturing. Applicants do not necessarily need a degree, but have to pass a technical skills test and know some Japanese. There are 2 types. Type 1 allows workers to stay in Japan for up to 5 years, but they may not bring their family. Type 2 is for more highly qualified workers, can be extended indefinitely and allows for the family to live in Japan. Type 1 holders may upgrade to Type 2 after 5 years. There are some more visas that allow you to work and study in Japan. Please check out the link in the video description in case you are interested in learning more about them.